Here we are. It's a beautiful morning in paradise, and I'm excited to show you my latest thrifted creations. I wanted to thank the Grace Life DIY Home Decor and Buckeye Girls Wreaths and Things for hosting this collaboration. It's the third Saturday of every month, and so it's kind of motivated me to do some stuff like the other collaborations have. And I have this little table out in the back by the creek, and it's all rusty. It's still good, but it's not looking that good. So I went ahead and made a small tablecloth for it, and this is how I did it. Everything in today's video is thrifted, what I created and what I already have. This round table is a Goodwill table. I got it for $5 about 8 years ago. It's been a side table, bedside table. It's been a bathroom table. It's been all over the place, and for the last couple of years it's been outside in the yard during the summer as a place where I like to sit and put my cup of tea or whatever I'm working on. It definitely needs a tablecloth, however. It's gotten a little battered and bashed up, so I thought I'd look through my stash of thrifted fabrics and see what I could do. At one point I purchased some pastel fabric at the thrift store, just different pieces of it, and this light pink was in that pile. It actually is a really nice fit for the top of this table, but it's rectangular, so I'm going to need to square it off. I also purchased these quilt squares at some point. I'm not sure if I got them at a thrift store or somebody gave them to me. I have a whole pile of them, different colors and whatever patterns. So I took out the ones that were pastel that kind of went with the pink, and I'll be putting those on, I think, on the corners. Since the fabric is rectangular and I want it to be square, I'm going to just square it off. I folded it in a triangle. I'm going to slice along that line right there. It's all squared off. I'll be using the rotary cutter, the ruler, and the cutting mat. I have plenty of company here on the table. I'm thinking that I might be able to do this whole project without moving any of the plants or anything like this. Plants sure do love this sunny location, especially after this really dark and gloomy winter. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure they can stay. It's all sliced up now into a square, and I'm also just going to run the rotary cutter along this edge where all the threads are. I also have some threads on the little patchwork squares. I'm going to do the same, just clean them up. Now that most of those threads have been taken care of, I'm going to bring out the ironing board, and we're going to start ironing. Okay, so right now my concept with this is I've got this four-cornered little tablecloth, and I have these little little guys here. So my concept was going to be to put each one of them on each corner. So that means I have to fold these under and sew them on top, and then I have to figure out how to make this folded, I guess, so that I can do it simultaneously with the hem of the tablecloth, and it's a lot more prone to mistakes and problems than it looks, so I've got to think this one through. Okay, I finally figured out what I need to do. I'm going to have to iron twice, basically. So the first round, I'm going to turn these corners over at about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to iron them, then glue base them. Then I'm going to put them into position. All right, so here we go. I've got it sort of held down. I'm doing it by eye. And there's my first edge. All right, all 4 of these are ironed around these 2 edges. Circular part's going to go at the bottom. So I'm going to set these aside before I glue baste, and I'm just going to go ahead and also iron the entire pink sheet here, because we're going to be laying those things on top of it, and I want this to be as ironed and smooth as possible. This glue baster is nothing short of miraculous. I got it on Amazon, and it has saved me so much time and energy that I used to spend hand basting and trying to position things. So I'm going to do my glue basting on top of this wax paper, and let's get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put like a little drops of this glue baste right there. And then I'm going to fold these over. Whoops. This is what it looks like. And I'm just going to fold over and press. This isn't like regular glue. It's not going to ruin anything, it disappears. There, hold it for a minute. And I'm going to do the rest of them just like that. Part 2 is I'm going to glue baste and pin these to the corners now. And then my first order of business is I'm going to make a sewing line this way so it'll close off those raw edges and also sew it to the fabric. Then I'll deal with this afterwards. And I've just put some of that little glue everywhere. If it's not enough, I'll just put some more. The key is to press it for a moment, just like that, and then it'll stick. I'm also going to do some pinning here so it absolutely does not move, just as a backup, just like that. All right, that's all done. All of the corners are pinned and glued and in position. So what I'm going to do right now is take out the sewing machine and sew around the entire edge. This will be a top stitching effort, and this will just be to hold it in place. So the corners are all sewed up right now. I did a smaller stitch around the top stitching around the white edge and a larger basting stitch around the raw edge because that's going to be turned under. I've taken the two opposite sides of the two opposite lengths and double folded them, pinned them. I'm going to iron them, glue baste them, and then sew them. When those are done, I'm going to do the two opposite sides. I'm pretty confident this will be okay. There's this one area here where there's a great deal of thickness because there's several layers of fabric, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Well, I did a double fold over and top stitched, and it worked out fine. I think the next time I do this, I will maybe get some sort of border because the double fold over and all that was a little time consuming, and maybe go to the thrift store and get some lace or something that I just need to put around the edge. And here's the table and tablecloth in its native environment outside, waiting for the next tea party. Thank you so much for joining me in this little sewing journey, and thank you so much for watching.